sex, relationships, and advice. The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Our guest tonight is one of our favorite comedians. You've seen him on Conan and live at Gotham. His stand-up special, Poor Decisions, is on Amazon Prime. Picture you. He is currently on tour with Jim Jeffries. And before I get to where you're performing this week, all by your lonesome, let me say your name. It's Forrest Shaw, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
So we're super excited. You guys, you'll listen first. You'll be like, I have to see this guy. But let me just tell you up front, he's going to be this Thursday night, October 19th at the Improv in Orlando, 7:30 p.m. You can get your tickets, theimprovorlando.com. And we'll give you that more information again, because as you're listening, you're going to be like, this guy's freaking funny. And then, you know, we'll have to give you the information again.
Yeah, and I'm going to be recording an album that night, too, so.
Oh, get out.
I mean, not that makes it more desirable for people to come out there, unless maybe you can pick out your laugh on the album. I don't know. But I just want people to come out there. It's going to be a fun show. So
what's the process? So have you been like prepping this and doing your whole act elsewhere so that by the time you get to the Improv in Orlando, you're going to nail it? Or like, how does that work when they record an album?
I mean, you know, I'm a stand-up comedian, so prep work is, I mean, you know, the whole reason I came to stand-up comedian, so I don't have to do anything like during the day. But the whole idea of preparing for it, I was like, oh my gosh, let me tell you, it's been a grueling process.
I slept till noon. I had a sandwich. Yeah.
But I mean, I was in San Diego this past week, and I was running what I thought I wanted to do there. And then, you know, I have an idea of what I want to do. So there's the bulk of it. I'll do about like a 50-minute set, and I think I'll have about like at least 45 minutes of it. You know exactly what I want to do, and then 5 minutes freestyle, and then we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you record one show, or do you record a couple of different shows?
One show. Record one show. Yeah. Nice. So, you know, it's stand-up comedy, so it's live. So if something happens, bad or good, it's fun to have that on the album anyways, you know, like I don't want hecklers, but if there's a heckler, you know, then we'll deal with it, and that might make it onto the album and stuff. But yeah, just one show. That's you know, get it out there, get it done.
Do you get hecklers a lot?
Yeah,
really.
I mean not just me personally, I mean like comics do, you know. Mm-hmm. There has been this trend for comedians to put out crowd work videos, and kids have been doing that because I think the public likes to see that for some reason. Like it's some sort of gladiator mentality thing.
Right.
Since that trend has increased and it's helped some people become very popular, now all comics think they should do it. So now you get a lot of people coming to these shows, and it's like, it's my first comedy show, and they just start yelling out and saying things, and they're like thinking this is how comedy shows are, and you're just like, no, that's not at all.
No, and you wouldn't do that anywhere else. You wouldn't go to the theater and be sitting there watching, like Daniel Radcliffe is on Broadway right now. You wouldn't sit there watching Daniel Radcliffe and be like, hey, Harry Potter, what's up? Like, it just wouldn't happen.
Well, I mean, the way I go to the theater, I would, but for you, maybe, yeah. You know. But no, yeah, it's I don't think stand-up is looked as an art form, and even me saying that, I just want to vomit right now on my computer, but it just... I mean, I guess it is art. I mean, just as a comic, we're so self-deprecating, and you know, so I don't want to be like, I'm an artist, guys, just so you know. But it is live performance, and it is creative, you know, and for sure, like, it's not only is it that people don't respect it in that same ways, people also don't respect it in the fact that they think they can do it like no problem. Like so many people come to me and like, people tell me I'm funny. I think people in their minds just look at it because we make it look natural and easy. Right. They're like, oh, that guy's just talking, or that woman's just doing. And so they think they can do it, which is so disrespectful, because you'll go to open mics. Like if you go to open mic where there's comedy going on, and people will go up there and they're not prepared at all. Right. They're not doing anything. They just go up there and they're like, you know, this is on my bucket list. Figured I'd just wing it up here, and it's just complete garbage. But no one would ever go to an open mic for music and just be like, don't know how to play the guitar, sing. I just figured out up here, bash my head at the wall, and then throw something at the audience. People will be like, what is this?
Right. You never do it. Well, a few years ago, our mutual friend, Al Jackson, I think you even helped me. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I even bothered you. So years ago, I did it was like the funniest reporter thing that they do in New York City. And they'd asked me to do it. What they do is they pair you with a comic. And I was like, I don't know what idiot you're going to put me with, but I know two idiots that I want to work with. So I asked Al, remember I had asked you about a couple of jokes, and I tried to do the material that you guys wrote for me. And I got, I'm radio funny, but I'm not stand-up funny. That was hard. And the jokes were really good. And I was just not, no matter how much we rehearsed, no matter how much, it was, until you're standing and doing it, you don't realize how difficult it is to really deliver the way you guys deliver and keep it natural and keep it, and funny. It's
a consistency.
You are an artist.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, Anyways, if anyone wants to buy my latest joke on Viagra, I'll be selling that for $5,000. No, I just Viagra. No, I haven't done a joke on Viagra ever. I don't even know why you said it's an example. All right.
I didn't bring it up. You did.
I know. I don't know why. I turned 50. Everything. I'm dying. So,
Wait. Okay. So it's pretty pivotal for you that you're turning 50. It's just a number. Why do you care?
I feel like 50 is a pretty pivotal age for. I don't think people like just toss that one aside like it's 30 or something. But I don't really care. I just as jokingly say it, but I guess I don't know. I do care to some degree too. You think about your death more, I guess, the older you get. I have noticed this, like the older I get, like now I've noticed the more I understand how it's possible to slip and die in a shower. Like I'm getting that, like understanding that more, like when I didn't even have that. And I'm just like, oh, this is a little bit, I don't know if our feet get calloused or something, but you get in there now and you're like, you get a mat down here or something. Yeah. So I think it's just like little things like that as you get older where you're just like trying to not have these accidents or something.
It's so funny. When I moved into my apartment, there was an old couple living in the apartment that I bought it from, and they had one of those bars on the shower. Yeah. And I was like, get rid of this thing. And when I found out how much it was to get rid of, because they'd have to like take the whole shower apart, retile it and all that. Yeah. And my boyfriend was like, one day we're going to need it.
Yeah. 100%.
Let's keep the bar in the shower because there's going to be one day they're going to be really happy that it's there.
I'll tell you another thing, the chair. Okay, so many times on the road, I've been given a hotel room, and sometimes you get a hotel room that's for a disabled person that's disabled, and you get that shower that's just like doesn't even have a lip. You just can like roll into it with it, and there's always that chair there. And I used to look at that chair, and I'm like, I'm not gonna sit on the chair. And now I'm like, get me a chair. I'll just sit there, and the water could come down on me like I'm a retired circus elephant or something. Just like. Just hose me down.
Well, now that you're 50, every time you use the bathroom, that could be your last thing you do.
Yeah.
You could die in the toilet with your pants down, like Elvis. And Elvis was like in his 30s.
Yeah. And I haven't cleared my web browser recently, so you gotta have... Oh my gosh. Wait, Elvis. Okay. His 30s. Yeah. He did die in the toilet. That is terrible.
Yeah. So
that's like
that happens all the time.
It doesn't happen all the time.
It happens all the time to people. I guarantee people in your building died taking a dump today, Cooper.
Yeah.
Well, only because I live in a building where we're the youngest people here. There's nobody in my building under the age of 70. Like when we're here, they're like, "What are you? Your children can afford your own apartment?" Like they can't believe it.
All right. Well, is this where you insert the ad for fiber gummies?
Yeah.
Now, looking through the year 2023 lens, did you have to change your stand-up act at all?
Not really. I mean, you mean like I'm sort of assuming you're referring to like sometimes
being canceled,
people get suspended now or canceled or things like that. I'm not like I talk about subjects and like there's some edge to what I talk about, but that was never me. Like I was never worried about that anyways because that just wasn't like my style of comedy. I mean, I'm not a clean comic. I don't like curse up a storm or I'm not disgusting with like reference things, but I'm by no means clean, but I also, I don't know. I talk a lot about things that happen to myself, so, I have a wealth of that. Like I struggle with different addictions, food, gambling, things like that. I was a marine biologist. So I can that's the good thing about being old. Like I can draw a lot of stuff from my own life.
I like you just throw that away. I have a gambling addiction. I'm a marine biologist.
Yeah. Sounds like
like you are.
The normal things. In the basket doing. Yeah, so I've never really been too worried about that. Plus, listen, look, I mean, it'd be hard to cancel me. I mean, what are you gonna like? The only thing you could take away from me right now is my date in improv in Orlando this week. So other than that, we're down my dog. I guess I don't really have a lot of things right now. So holes on the shelf. Yeah.
So what's it been like being on tour with Jim Jeffries? How has that been for you? And are you more famous now? Are people like, oh my God, Forrest Shaw?
I would definitely. I mean, I do a podcast with him too. It's called I Don't Know About That with Jim Jeffries. I'm the co-host. I don't get to be really funny on that podcast. I have to steer the ship and kind of rein him in. So when people see me open for him, they're like, hey, you know what? Not bad. Like very condescending, thought you were a lame, but
right. Like that, he's giving you a shot, like his sidekick, like you've never done this before.
Keep at it. Meanwhile, we just 4,000 people I just performed for, like Jim's like just throwing me a bone.
Right.
It's been great. I mean, I'm good friends with Jim. I've been friends with Jim for a long time. So it is like touring with a friend. And that's another reason, like I'm sure he brings me, is because you want to be on the road with your friends. I did a 5-week tour with him in Europe. Like if you're not with your friends on that tour, it's going to be rough. So, but it's been great. And it's like between the touring and the podcast and stuff, I definitely get recognized. I'll tell you, my dog, Arnie, who's on the couch behind me, is a really cute dog that I've had for almost 3 years now. He's been on the podcast a lot, and he actually gets more love than I do most of the time because he's a dog. Yeah. I've been in an elevator in Vegas one time, and a guy was kind of looking at me a little bit weird or whatever, and then he just said, hey, is that Arnie? And I was like, yeah. Nice. Big fan of the podcast. I was like, yeah, nice to meet you too. Okay, cool. But it's great touring with him. I mean, it's just fun. You get to do these huge crowds. You get to like experience like this really kind of road life at a different level, like than I was used to, with crappy hotels and stuff like that. And he's just a great guy. He's really generous and stuff. I have a funny story actually thinking of that because he's a very generous guy to us, all his openers, people that we work with and stuff, but also in general to people because his comedy's treated him really well and he's done really well from it. And from time to time, he'll just do a lot of things anonymously, like just help people, like I know he's helped people buy medical equipment and things they've needed and such like that. But we were on the road one time. It was me and him and then another comedian, Lisa Curry, who also was open for him. And we needed to eat breakfast. And I was like, oh, there's a Waffle House. We should go to a Waffle House. And he had never been to a Waffle House. I don't know if you guys know Waffle House.
Of course, please.
I live by it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm in the South. What are you talking about?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's a fancy night out where Anthony lives.
That's your third date. But yeah. So yeah, he hadn't been, Lisa hadn't been. I was like, you gotta go to. I was like, it's actually the food is fresh. Like you can watch them make it. Every Waffle House is the exact same building, the exact same seating arrangement, and the kitchen's open. So it's not bad. It's a greasy spoon kind of thing, but it's like you get a fresh waffle, this, that. And so we sat, if you've been in a Waffle House before, there's the counter that's lower. I think it's for, again, this is a running theme, the disabled people to sit at a counter. It's on the far end, so you can look down the whole kitchen. You're looking down the whole kitchen into the back. There's a low counter there, and the three of us sat there. We ate our food, and Jim and Lisa were like, yeah, it's not bad, blah, blah, blah. And Lisa's like, I'm going to go to the restroom before we get back on the road. And Jim decided to leave this waitress, like, I want to say it was like a $200 tip or a $300 tip on like a, whatever, $50 bill. Because I think he kind of was like, man, this must be tough. Like waiting tables here, you having to deal with. And so she came back and she goes, did you make a mistake?
Oh.
And he goes, no, that's real. And she goes, oh my God. And she started crying.
Oh.
And then this other lady came up, I think to see if something was wrong with her. But oh, that's so nice. And she started crying. And then there was the third server came up and they were like crying and just saying, thank you. And Jim's like, you're more like, my pleasure, whatever, happy to do. And so now we're just sitting there and you would want to leave, but we're waiting for Lisa to get out of the restroom.
Right.
There's just 3 women crying there now. And they're yeah. And now it's really awkward. And he's done this really nice deed, but now it's become awkward to where like Jim's just kind of like under his breath, like, yo, we got to leave now. We got So we like started out there like, hey, see you later. Thank you, blah, blah, blah. And Lisa came running to the car. She goes, I thought you guys left me. What happened? I was like,
bunch of crying chicks inside. I don't know what the hell is going on.
So, the awkwardness was very funny. I mean, it's a lot better, but he's a great guy. That's what I'm saying. I have been really fortunate to be able to work with him and do the road with him and stuff like that.
They're big fans of his. I don't know if you know, but I work on a morning show in Australia. I work on a TV show in Australia called Sunrise, and it's huge. It's like the Good Morning America of Australia. It's pretty big, and I'm sure, and I know he's been on it a million times because they were talking about. I guess the last time he was there and they were discussing it, they were excited. And I was like, I kept asking my producer, I was like, is Forrest here?
I know.
Did you bring Forrest?
You see the game show or something like that. He has a game show down there. So maybe it was that one of the.
I think that's what it was. But I just assumed because they were talking about him. So I was like, well, he must be on tour there because, I don't know what's going on in anyone's world, Yeah. So I figured he must be on tour there. So you must be there too. So my producer there, Isla, I was like, okay, so whoever he came with, one of the people there's definitely named Forrest. You got to find him.
Probably not. Probably Amos. There's other comic. But I had been to Australia. I mean, when I was growing up, I was like, Australia, like most Americans, like I wonder if I'll ever get to go to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've been, I want to say 4 times with them and 2 on my own, which is crazy to even say I can go and do shows on my own. I've gone there and done shows on my own in Australia, which is like blows my mind that people in Australia are like fans of mine. It's just crazy.
They're the nicest people on the planet. I love Australians. How can you sit on the plane for so long though?
I get up, I walk around. I get up, I walk around, I do some stretching in the back. I make some friends in the galley, stuff like that. It's tough. It's
so that's 20 minutes. What do you do for the other 15 hours?
I hit myself in the head with a hammer. I drugs. No, it's brutal. It's brutal. You're like, okay, I'd watched 7 movies still up, and we still have an hour and a half. Yeah, it's a rough flight. There's no easy way to do it either. You can't shoot over to, some other places. It's just far. But it's great there though. I love Australia. It's the people are so nice there. The food's good, there's a lot of space. It's the same size country as ours. There's only 30 million people in the whole thing. So it's
right.
A lot of room. And I feel like I always say it's like a Caribbean island of if it was like the white people's Caribbean island.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're very laid back. They have their own kind of slang. Everything ends in an I and E, everything's
they love to give nicknames. I'm sure if you were there long enough, they wouldn't call you Forrest. They call you Forsty or something. They have to give you some
Forsty.
Yeah, they have to give you some cutie name. Nobody is whatever their name is. Everybody who's there has a nickname. I don't know anyone's real name anymore.
Yeah, my favorite one is the bikers, Hell's Angels here and stuff.
Yeah,
they call them bikies, and I'm like,
no,
adorable.
That is adorable.
You don't want to mess with these guys. You don't want to mess with a bikie. I'll show you, but it sounds like just this little parade of children on
tricycles. Yeah,
coming. Woo, dirty. Yeah.
Which country has the hottest chicks though?
Oh, we did this Europe tour, and look, the Scandinavian countries, it's tough to beat them. Norway, Sweden,
Really?
Yeah, Iceland, there was pretty, but Norway and Sweden was up there. I mean, Spain and Portugal is a lot of pretty good too. But I will tell you, there was a woman in Sweden, in Stockholm, that was mopping the lobby floor of this hotel that would like rule small towns in this country. I just wanted to like tell her, like, you don't have to be doing that. I don't know.
Right.
I will buy you a house.
You'd be queen in Peoria.
Yeah. Yeah. Peoria, and you'll be the mayor. And then they'll put a statue. She was gorgeous. I was like, why are you? And she's like, hello. Like, okay. And
She's ugly there, yeah.
the guys are hot too. Some of the hottest women I've seen are men in Norway. Just say like it's chiseled, and it's like, and so Scandinavian countries, you can't beat it there. But I don't know. As I get older, everyone's pretty to me, anyways. Now, so I look at myself in the mirror, I'm always like, I think everyone's pretty attractive now compared to.
I hear you.
Yeah, I know. I feel your pain.
I don't want to tell you where my grays are.
Hopefully not your chest.
No, that's where some are.
So I had a weird thing happen to me on Saturday night that I wanted to run by you guys because I was kind of curious what you would do in a situation like this. So, by the way, the world is exploding outside my window. So if you hear sirens, that's why. It's like it's hell here in New York today. So I was going to dinner with some friends who were visiting from out of town. We hadn't seen them in a while, and they had like a finite time. They literally were like, here's 3 times during the day that you can come see us. We're going to be here for 20 minutes, here for an hour and a half, and we're going to be having like appetizers and drinks at this place, but then we have to like get on a plane and go somewhere else. Like we had them for like a finite period of time. So we go running over there, and on the way over there, as we're about to cross the street, this cab pulls up. The door goes flying open, and a man who was probably like, I guess in his 70s, just stumbles out, and he's sort of stumbling on, and he just face plants right into, like, there was like a little pole there. And I just stood there. My boyfriend kicked into action. He runs up. Joe runs up, grabs the guy, picks him up. The cab driver comes running around and says he's very drunk. His wife, his daughter and son just stuck him in a cab, gave me his address. He's been arguing with me the whole time, and he just refuses. Every time we stop at a red light, he keeps trying to get out of the cab. He's not my responsibility. I don't know what to do. What would you guys do in a situation like that? Joe's holding the guy. Our friends are at the restaurant right across the street. Time's a ticking. And the guy's not my responsibility, but so what would you do in a situation like that?
I mean, I think it's because of his age that Joe even helped him. I think probably because I mean, if he was 20 and did that, I was like, I'm not helping this.
Right.
Like, I think that was probably so. I think the age thing plays the fact that I think if I just saw an old person that was struggling, and even if I didn't know they were drunk or I did, I would probably help them out. But I don't know. I really, for as much as I have to perform for people and be around people, I dislike people. So, but I also don't want to see people hurt either. But, I don't know. When I first moved to LA, I was an Uber driver and I had to deal with a lot of drunk people, and it was like all I could do to get rid of them fast enough. So, I don't know. Maybe just sit him upright, put a little cup in his. I don't know. I probably wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't do it to it. I would probably keep walking. I'd be like, oh, yeah, is that over there? I haven't seen that.
Right.
That building. That's new. I don't know. Am I a bad person? I'm being honest. I think probably. I don't know what I would do actually, but nothing. Right now, I do. If he was homeless, I might help him.
Not homeless, well dressed.
Yeah, he's getting out of a cab. He's well dressed. He'll figure it out. You know, he'll figure it out. He can get an Uber or somebody I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Why did you feel like you wouldn't do anything? I mean, you said Joe sprang in action, but
I want to know what Anthony would do, and then I'll tell you what I did.
No, what I would do is I would be, look at the building. It's pretty lights. I'm not touching anybody because my luck is I'm going to help him up and I'm going to break his leg and then he's going to sue me.
Oh, yeah.
Bingo. That's exactly. I said to Joe, put him down on the building over there, lay him down.
No,
The cab driver. No, he couldn't stand up.
Oh.
And he couldn't stand up. So I was like, bring him over to the side of the building and leave him there. He's like, should I call 911? I said, no. This is the kind of thing that, in my experience, this is one of those, like, no good deed goes unpunished. I have helped people in the past, and then you get screwed. Like, a cop calls you, wants to know, like, what your involvement is. The guy he's missing his wallet. Did you take it? There's somehow you end up getting sued or blamed or something. Yep. I have learned over the years, here's, me as I approach 50. This is my experience. I feel like, it's not that I don't want to help people. There are situations that clearly the person needs help. This is an adult who chose to get wasted. Do you know what I mean? Even his daughter and his son didn't want to help him home. They put him in a cab. If his own daughter and his own son don't want to help him, why is he my responsibility and I'm going to end up getting sued by this prick? Like, I'm not taking a risk.
I've seen a lot of episodes of Better Call Saul. It feels like something. But he's well dressed. So now you did give me an idea that his daughter and son won't do anything. But if you help him out, but you make some sort of deal with his will, to be less than that thing. And how well dressed was he? Like, what kind of clothing? So that might make it different.
Is he Gucci head to toe with a Rolex?
No, it wasn't. Okay. No, he's definitely, he's like upper middle class. I mean, he's not, he's not part of the 1%. If he was part of the 1%, he would have, had a driver waiting for him, not a cab driver who was like, he is not my responsibility. I'm like, he's not mine either. I just met you.
Yeah, then forget it. If I can't be in his will, then forget it.
Hey, so I did the right thing. I feel better. Better. Okay,
no deal. And for that reason, I'm out.
Okay, Sharks, I'm out.
So you're going to be in Florida a lot the next couple of weeks. How do people see your tour dates and all that?
ForrestShaw.net is my website. I have all my tour dates on there, and you can see dates that I'll be on my own, that'll be with Jim, I have another podcast to do with Dave Williamson called the Mermen Podcast. We do our own tour with that as well. We're doing a festival in Tampa in January. We're doing a live podcast, but ForrestShaw.net is where all my stuff is, and Forrest with 2 R's Shaw is all my handles for Instagram, and I really like Instagram the best, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
I half step on everything else, so go to Instagram.
And go see him this Thursday night, October 19th at the Improv in Orlando. You can get your tickets, theimprovorlando.com.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Forrest.
Thank you guys for having me. This was fun.